So.
Oh man, can we do this another time? My aunt just passed away.
Too bad, because it's time for POV. So yeah, this week we watched 2 movies that we didn't like. Let's do Devil's Pass first.
So
53 years ago, 9 people set up camp in the Ural Mountains in Russia. It had become known as the Dyatlov Pass incident.
Are you scared?
No.
We're recreating a trip in which 9 people died.
Yeah, what, like 50 years ago?
Because where did you see it? Was on not Netflix.
It was on Netflix.
It was Netflix. Okay, so
Yeah,
it's probably
and when I
getting a lot of watches right now.
when I read the synopsis, it said it was based on like the Dyatlov Pass incident, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That happened, and that's kind of weird, and definitely lends itself to a movie. No, it's not good.
What do you mean? I thought it was great. No, I was surprised that Rennie Harlan goes on from Die Hard 2 and Cliffhanger and a few other decent movies.
Noteworthy movies. Yeah.
Then he makes Dyatlov's Pass, which was
Devil's Pass.
Yes, sorry, Devil's Pass,
Right.
which was a found footage movie that from the the first 5 minutes I was just like questioning it. I guess this happens with a lot of found footage movies where they're making a documentary.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what the hell's the content of this documentary supposed to be? Them sitting around eating and drinking?
Yeah.
And being, idiots?
Almost as much as I hate him.
Cheers. Cheers, guys.
Like you have macaroni and cheese, huh?
Yeah.
I was like, why are they bothering shooting this?
I don't know.
It's like, I want to waste all my footage and take up all my card space shooting us.
Doing fuck all.
Yeah, and who introduced, like, the first 5 minutes of the movie is the girl's name. I can't remember. The girl.
Yeah, I'm not even bothering looking at these characters.
Explaining how she wanted to do a documentary and how they got a grant to make a documentary.
Yeah.
Who opens up a documentary being like, we got a grant to make this documentary?
And were any of them like really filmmakers? Wasn't only one of them? One of them was
the
a
guy,
student filmmaker. Yeah. Oh, they all get a grant because getting grants for making movies is so easy to do. But keep going.
And then they go to Russia to investigate the Dyatlov Pass incident. Now, I always thought that was a really cool mystery, even though it's pretty easily explained by hypothermia. But in the first 5 minutes, they do kind of rip that apart.
But it lends itself to a movie.
Yes, I totally agree.
So much. Like, you read something like that, and you're like, hey, this should be a movie.
Yes. So I was like, cool, this sounds like a cool premise. And
but it's like, the writer, I'm looking at, the writer of this garbage, Vikram Wheat, or whoever came up with the concept for this movie, is like, oh, the Dyatlov Pass incident, let's do something good with this. It's like, okay, instead of just telling like this cool traditional story that takes place in the late 50s about the like original crew this happened to, let's make a current like modern found footage movie about the most annoying characters that we could think of, trying to retrace the steps. Like why?
Yes,
why?
I agree. It doesn't. Oh, I know why. Because found footage is cheap to make.
Yeah.
And a lot of people go, oh, found footage. This will be cool. That's why.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
But it was. I don't want to say it's garbage. It does have some redeeming qualities, but some. Not much though.
There's not much.
No.
I think it's more. You're forgiving it because the concept of the Dyatlov Pass incident is kind of cool. So like in your mind, you kind of think like, oh, that's kind of neat, but it's just not a good movie. Like there's nothing. I was offended.
So I guess we should get into the details.
Yeah, let's get into like details.
So the Dyatlov Pass incident was 9 hikers went missing in Russia on a mountain, and the pass became known to be Dyatlov's Pass. And a lot of mystery surrounds this missing, their deaths. People saying that there's like, sightings of UFOs and maybe even Bigfoot was involved, and their lights in the sky,
nuclear testing,
and People say that there's a conspiracy to cover it up, and that's what the movie assumes, right?
Or isn't a big one like there was some sort of tribe or something that might have had something to do with killing them?
Yeah, they go into that too.
Yeah.
So basically, off in the first like 10 minutes of the movie, they bring up like 5 different conspiracy theories behind their disappearance, and each one of them plays a role in their documentary they're making. They find Sasquatch footprints.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, the government gets involved.
Yeah.
And there's even a time travel element.
Okay. Before we get like that far
Yes.
into it,
I'm getting ahead of myself.
because like that, I'm just gonna go off then. But okay, starting with the characters, super cliche.
I'm Manny Thatcher, president of the Northwest Trail Association. I've climbed just about every mountain worth climbing in the U.S.
Are you talking to your camera? I'm talking to Lucille. Okay, I'm rolling.
My name is Holly King. I'm a psychology student at the University of Oregon.
And then the other characters were just basically just there for some reason. Those were the most noteworthy.
Yeah,
And
just
then-
to be guides.
And then of course like the main ambitious female character who's had a calling to do this her whole life for some reason. Like
it was getting really out
Like,
there
what is
and very
this?
cliched, trying to like create these characters and make them seem legitimate, but it just came off as bad.
wasn't it kind of in the same vein as, would you say, like Blair Witch Project?
Yes, I was gonna
Okay.
say
Where it's like a documentary crew and they try to interview someone. Do they ever actually really ever successfully interview someone though?
that old lady, the one.
So, you found 11 bodies.
But I'm glad you brought up the Blair Witch Project, because
Yeah.
I was like, this movie is clearly using the Blair Witch Project as a model for
Oh.
the story
Yeah,
and the script and
it's like the,
pace and everything.
totally, and that's like the Blair Witch Project where it's like you assume someone found this footage, and then edit it together, right?
Yeah.
It's on a movie like Cloverfield. It's like someone found this footage,
Yeah.
and this is the tape.
Yeah.
You know, so they definitely took that model. Yeah, and they didn't do very good with it.
No, it was they left the audience. They assumed that they had a dumb audience, and they were just like, "All right, just make it clear in the first minute of the movie that we're making a documentary, and then that's all they need to know.
Yeah.
And then we'll just run around with the camera like this."
Yeah.
The dialogue was some of the worst dialogue I've heard in a long time.
Oh man, it was
Like
brutes.
every character, like they would point the camera at them and be like, and they would just immediately dive into like the philosophy of their life.
Yeah.
Like one guy, like they asked the guy who's the expert climber,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Oh, why do you do this?" And he's like, "Well, I just try to live it like this is every day is our last day, and I've everything I need to live is right there in that pack." I was like, "Who the fuck?
Who talks like that?
Who talks like that?"
Yeah.
Man, come on. The Russian government has spent a lot of time and effort building a big, solid door inside of a mountain to keep whatever's inside in there. I don't think we should be going
Jensen,
knocking...
what the hell are we here for? Do you want to know if the unknown compelling force is a Yeti or an alien or a Soviet-engineered Superman?
This movie was like, hey, let's take all these cliche ideas from every found footage movie, the most recycled genre in the last like 3 years, and we'll just make it worse. Yes. And at the same time,
We'll take a famous mystery that's kind of still cool, and a lot of people still pay attention to it, and we'll just do a really crappy found footage movie.
okay, let's just get right into this then. Okay, so this mystery. So it's like, yeah, okay, the Dyatlov Pass mystery. That's an excellent idea for a movie. How do we make this crazier, even zanier? Let's fucking throw in like 800 other things.
Yeah, it was like everything.
You want the Philadelphia experiment conspiracy
We'll put it in
theory?
there.
We'll throw it in there.
Top
You want
secret,
time
it's in
travel?
there.
We'll throw it in there. Anything top secret, everything, anything
Aliens, it's
confidential.
in there.
Yeah, anything you want at a low price of free on Netflix. You know?
It was an avalanche! Oh, wake up, man. They tried to kill us. They tried to bury us, so it looked like an accident. You crazy bastard! Shit like that doesn't happen in the real world, Are you telling me you didn't see those charges? Huh? He's they're shooting at us. What the... Holly! Shut the door! Shut the damn door!
Just when I thought the movie couldn't get any worse, he goes up to that folder. Spoilers everywhere. Yeah, this is a spoiler show, but opens up the folder and there's like pictures from the Philadelphia experiment.
The Philadelphia experiment, although was likely just a total farce of a story,
Yeah.
there's a lot of evidence to show that nothing like that ever happened, and it was just made up by someone.
Yeah.
I was like, what would it have to do at all with
Yeah.
the Dyatlov Pass incident?
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Like nothing was good. Time travel too. So, okay, so you know not earlier, but in the last act, they're like going through that tunnel or whatever, and they find another camera that's the same as theirs, and it's got footage that's like the same as theirs on it too. So you're thinking like, oh, what's gonna happen with this?
Well, before they even give you a chance to figure it out, the guy goes, time travel.
Shit! That's impossible.
No, maybe not. Remember the Eldritch from the Philadelphia experiment? It was supposed to have teleported from Philadelphia to Norfolk.
So?
So, it's supposed to have arrived in Norfolk 10 minutes before it left Philadelphia.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
like 5 seconds after they found the camera.
just gives it away.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh.
And
it's time
somehow this
travel.
guy's an ace at like figuring out everything, even when they were literally just attacked by monsters.
Yeah.
Those creatures, the way that they just disappear, become intangible. They can teleport, but not through the doors down here.
That's why they all lock from the outside.
There's got to be a connection between those things and this place.
And then they started piecing together this impossible, like what's the term I'm looking for? Tapestry of gibberish. And they start putting it together into this like perfectly solved like mystery that they figure it out.
Yeah.
And I was just like, who are these guys? Like Sherlock Holmes?
I know. And then, okay, since you're on this, and then at the end of the movie, there's like the portal thing or whatever, and he's like,
But what if you picture somewhere clear in your mind and you concentrate on it, and that is where it takes you?
how do you figure that out? Just by sitting there.
It was literally, there was no logic to it whatsoever. He pulled it out of nowhere, and that's what I call lazy writing. They need a reason for them to like walk into the portal and take a leap of faith, so we'll just have him imagine something. It doesn't make any sense.
No. Wouldn't most people in that situation be like, this portal's gonna like melt off our skin?
Yeah.
You know?
What if it takes you to another dimension where there's like
How do you-
Dune? Wasn't that with Dune or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. But how do you know it's even a portal? Wouldn't you like?
I know it.
What?
Teleportation.
But okay, let's forgive that. Let's just be like, okay. So you got to think of the most vivid place, the place you can like remember the most in your mind, and it's outside of that door. That doesn't even make sense because it's fresh. No, like, wouldn't you think of someone in your home that you spent like years of your life in?
Yeah, it's like
your bedroom or something.
No, I'd pick the place where we were chased into because there's guys with guns shooting at us. That's what I'd think of.
Yeah. Guys!
Here's how much sense it makes. No fucking
Yeah,
sense.
but like,
You know what was sad about that moment? That was the climax of the movie.
I'm scared.
They turn out to be the 2 extra bodies that Alia, the old lady, she says there was 11 bodies we found, not 9.
Yeah.
And they turn out to be the 2 extra bodies that went back in time.
why? Why does that need to happen?
Because movie, that's why.
Назад! Кому сказали назад?
Like, how does that add to anything? It's just
It doesn't.
adds to the stupidness.
They just wanted to throw in a twist. Just slap it in there. And then they morph, for whatever reason, into the monsters that were chasing them.
Yeah,
Earlier.
I didn't. So is that like a thing of time travel? You turn into monster people.
Yes.
You turn into the things from The Descent.
Stephen Hawking released a book, and it says if you time travel through a portal in Russia, you'll turn into monsters from.
Oh, I see. I see.
When they find the camera, like 3/4 of the way through the movie, that's supposed to have been left there for 50 plus years.
There's still a little bit of battery.
There's
left.
still battery life on it.
Yeah.
Was that? They don't explain that. Was it supposed to be that the magnetic field was still giving it battery power?
I don't know.
I don't think that's how magnets work.
No, and I don't think that was what they're going for. I think you just weren't supposed to think about that.
So I'm not supposed to. Okay.
Well, the main actress had the most annoying voice, had the most annoying enthusiasm, like fake enthusiasm I've ever seen.
Yeah, they were trying to make her like the Blair Witch girl.
Yeah.
And they made her even more annoying.
That's a good point. Yeah, like enthusiastic, like determined. Yeah. But she was just dreadful.
You think that we're messing with you?
No, we think Bigfoot was checking out our campsite last night.
How could we possibly fake that?
This movie was the total polar opposite of the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
In that the Blair Witch Project was like trying to figure out about the witch.
Yeah.
And a little bit about missing children. Might be a hermit. That's it. There's 3 kids and you don't see anything.
Yeah.
You see handprints on the wall and that's it.
Yeah.
This movie, you see everything.
Yeah. This movie was trying to be like the bigger version of the Blair Witch. Yeah. But it was just worse in every way.
And it failed. So the next film. The next film that we watched.
Oh man. This is gonna be awesome.
The House of the Dead by Uwe Balls.
I think that's how you say his name. Uwe Ball, right? Uwe Ball. Uwe Balls.
Balls.
He just loves those balls.
Balg?
It was a nightmare. So many dead people.
So the movie starts off with like this voiceover of this like the main character, the main
character
explaining who the characters are. And so basically in the first minute it breaks the first rule of film, it's show don't tell.
Yeah.
And okay, but you can forgive it, I guess. But he's like talking like
Karma thinks she's Foxy Brown. She has a crush on Simon, but Simon only has eyes for Alicia, my ex.
And you don't see that guy again for like another 40 minutes.
Oh yeah, I would say at least 40 minutes.
At least 40 minutes.
Or so you probably see him, they have like one clip at the rave and you see him like talking to someone.
Yes, but it's not like you spend half the scene with him. It just, you see him
just shows
and that's
him.
it.
Yeah.
And so the whole first 40 minutes of that movie, I'm just like, who the fuck's the main character?
Yeah.
Is it one of these annoying people on the boat?
Yeah.
Is it Captain Kirk? That's his name, Captain Kirk.
Is it Ron Howard's like
Ron Howard's
retarded brother?
Hello?
What you doing over there?
The other kind of secondary main character, which is supposed to be like the main character's like ex-girlfriend or something,
Okay.
barely has a role at the beginning of the movie too.
Yes.
The second one.
With the curly hair.
The one who
right?
gets stabbed.
Yeah.
With Jess. Yeah.
Spoilers.
So,
If you haven't
like,
seen.
the two characters are like the main characters.
Barely have a role until halfway
She's
through
like the
movie.
most background one.
Yeah. Horrible dialogue scene between the guy who's kind of in charge of the group of friends and the captain. And they're trying to convince him to take them to the island.
Why? 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 They always ask why.
You know what they call this island? Isla del Muerte.
Muerte. That's Spanish for death.
But like he's like, oh, we won't go there or anything, and he's like making it seem like the worst place to go. Yeah. And it's like $1,000. Like, yep. And then when they get to the island, again, it like has all these legends. It's like nicknamed like Death Island or whatever. That's the place they're gonna stash their Cuban cigars and guns.
What do you want to do now?
Let's go. I found a spot for our merchandise.
And then they get to the island. And I cringed at how this is just a perfect example of poor directing, poor editing, and poor acting all combined into one thing. They arrive at the island.
Okay, guys, there it is. There it is.
Oh, yes! Yes! Finally!
It was laughably bad. It was clearly one of those things where the actors are like, I guess we're happy to be here. Yeah.
Oh man, even like before they get there, there's just like the scene where that one guy's like getting seasick and stuff, and like the one guy pulls out a beer and he says like, here, have another one.
You look like shit, man. Here, have another beer. This will make you feel better.
It's like, is that supposed to be like funny? Am I supposed to laugh?
Yes, 'cause funny.
When little Howard gives that like blonde girl like
The cross,
The
right?
cross or
I totally
whatever.
forgot about that.
That never plays into anything.
No, I think it was I thought it was. I think it was strictly just to like add more tension, to be like, in case his wonderful performance and him saying that the place is haunted by spirits wasn't enough, him giving her a cross saying for protection. That's true. And of course, it was a great opportunity for more humor to be added to the movie.
Yeah.
When she responds, "I'm on the pill."
Oh my god. That seems the
Wah,
worst.
wah.
They get there and nobody's there. It looks like the place has been trashed. And the two guys are like, oh, the keg's still full. That's your reaction? Like, a few of them are like, oh, this is weird. This is kind of creepy. We should go and find everybody.
One of them, and I'll come back to them, one of them was saying this is creepy. The others were like, don't worry about it.
Yeah, but even the person who was saying like, oh, this is weird, guys. It's like, it's not like she's pushing it or anything. Like,
it was, they were, I guess he was relying on the thrasher genre, which is, there's always a couple of characters that they'll ignore. I guess they're supposed to be like, hedonistic? They want to get drunk, they want to have sex, they want to have a good time. They don't care if there's, a dead guy on the ground right there. Oh, it's probably, probably fell over, hurt himself. That's a common in a lot of slasher movies.
Yeah.
And this was just like that to the 10th degree. It was stupid.
Yeah.
And then she later becomes the main character, kind of, with the curly hair.
Yeah.
One of them, yeah.
Okay.
She like finds a bloody shirt, and she's like, I don't know, guys. I think something bad happened here. And of course, they all ignore her.
Yeah.
And you think, okay, this is also a common thing in slasher movie. There's that one or two characters that have their heads on straight.
The
voice of reason. And
nobody believes.
Nobody believes them, as usual. And then 20 minutes later, after they run into the other group of people, and they explain, we were attacked by zombies, and they show them the video. Now she's the one who's like, I don't know, I think it was a big practical joke.
Yeah.
I was just like, did they forget who they were writing?
Yeah.
Like, did
That's
they not
true.
go back and do a draft 2 or 3?
Oh my god, this fucking movie. So they go and they have the scene where they find Rudy, the main character.
Right.
Finally, like 40 minutes in, it's like, oh, the guy doing the voiceover at the beginning. I remember this guy. And he's with the movie nerd guy who's like holding a camera.
Yeah, movie nerd and Liberty, the Japanese Zega girl that's in the American flag jumpsuit.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so you have that guy who looks like a Ethan Hawke for some reason. That guy looks like Ethan Hawke. It's so fucking weird. He does. I was like, this guy looks like Ethan Hawke. But so then they're like, okay, we got to get out of here. Do you have a boat? And it's like, yeah, we have a boat. Okay, let's go. And they're like, no, we're not leaving our friends. So they're like, go back. At the same time, it's like, hey, you just seen a video of all this taking place at the place that your two friends are alone right now. They're probably dead. But whatever. They do the humane thing and go back for their friends. And they find the one guy, right, in the porta potty or whatever.
Yeah. And instead of being like, oh, thank God you're alive, they're like, oh!
And he's covered in shit. And the one guy's like, oh, you're really in deep shit, eh?
So it's when the blonde girl who's turned into a zombie attacks one of them. And, they're like...
The camera guy?
Yeah, she kills the camera guy, and then she's attacking another guy. And then there's a gunshot, and then you find out that it's the cop that's shooting her. And the cop's like 50 feet away using a rifle. A rifle that I'm pretty sure only SWAT team use, but I guess a small town cop carries those around all the time.
Not even a cop, like the small town Coast Guard.
Yeah.
It has like these SWAT weapons.
And she kills the girl, and she shoots the girl, knocks her back, and then the next shot she's like 50 feet closer magically.
Yeah.
Just cause. And then kills her with a headshot. And then she, with like the flattest delivery imaginable.
What the hell was that thing?
So you just shot a girl,
like,
an unarmed girl, just cause.
It's like, no, it's our friend. We didn't give her medication.
Yeah. Oh. And then he shoots all these zombies that are trying to attack him.
The first action scene of the movie comes. And techno music blasts, like Sega techno music. And all it is like these lame, like, the movement of the zombies was so bad. Just like climbing up the boat and him just being like, boom, boom. None of them even got close to
And
him.
he doesn't even seem too worried that there's zombies climbing up the
No.
sides of his boat.
Just boom.
Boom. And everybody shoots like this. Boom.
Forget it! Find another way!
Let's talk about using shots to convey either motion or emotion or you know, a shot should have meaning to it, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about these turntable shots.
Oh my god. And it went, of course it did every single character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do they look cool? Yes. Do they fit? No.
No.
Was it distracting? Yes. Was it laughable sometimes? Yes. And every time someone died, it had to be like a game over sort of thing. The zombie makeup, for the most part, looked really good. I was really surprised. And like the squibs and the heads exploding, all the blood effects look really
head
good.
exploding was awesome, yeah.
But then all you had to do is look past those zombies and you'd see guys with like next to no
Nothing.
makeup on, just going rawr.
Like actually, like their face was just like pale, like just put white, like powder, or like their eyes had like dark blue around them.
We didn't even talk about the main villain.
Oh my god, that flashback,
Yeah, that awfully shot flashback.
the worst dialogue.
Like as bland as possibly
and they're
shot.
trying to be all deep and stuff, like questioning the existence of God. It's like, okay, your house of the day, get the fuck out of here.
And the guy's like, "Are you scared? Come closer." And the captain's like, "Oh, okay, I'll come closer to you." And then of course he ends up getting strangled, and the guy escapes. And then he figures out with magic how to be immortal. What was the line? Why do you want to live forever?
Oh my god, so he has like the main guy Rudy pinned down. He says something along the lines of like, why would you want to create something that makes you immortal? And he's just like, to live forever.
Oh, okay.
And then the girl and him have a sword fight.
A turntable sword fight.
Oh yeah, lots of that. And Kate, she was good at using a sword because she took fencing lessons.
And then she gets stabbed in the chest, and she's fine. She gets stabbed in the chest.
Yeah.
And she's fine. Now you said it's because she got the serum put into her?
Well, like I think right before they blow it up, he figures out and he's like, "Oh, it's the blood. It's the blood that's doing it." Probably because it has the serum in it, you know?
What blood?
Like zombies' blood.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like when a zombie bites someone else, their blood gets in contact with each other, so it brings that person back to life or whatever. So it's the blood. And yeah, I never caught this, like, when I watched this as a kid, I swear. She gets stabbed in the chest, and this is how it's supposed to be, I think. Gets stabbed in the chest, and you think she's, like, dead. And then bad guy's about to, like, kill Rudy or whatever. And she gets up with, like, her last bit of strength and, like, steps on his head.
Yes.
Because the guy's fighting a headless corpse, which is the worst fucking thing. So steps on the head, and the guy dies. It's like destroyed the brain. And then she died, like falls over, right? And then he goes over to her, and I think it's even in slow motion, like checking her, and she doesn't show any signs of life. And then it cuts to like hours later, and he's like helping her. So you assume that he took some of the zombie blood. And because he says, throwaway line when he's narrating the end of the movie, where he says like, "And I'm bringing this back into the city, and I don't know how it's gonna end," or something, you know? So it's like, oh, he's bringing like the House of the Dead zombie virus into the city. Yeah. I get it. And
that, well,
again, the ending is basically the only way you're gonna understand the ending is if you took note of the bad guy's name.
You must stop Curian.
And then at the end of the movie, they're like, "What's your name?" And he's like, "Rudolph Curian." So like, your understanding of the ending of the movie is supposed to be based on you understanding the villain's name.
Am I correct in saying that you once signed a petition for Uwe Ball to stop making movies?
I did.
Did it work?
I don't think so. I think the guy still makes movies.
And didn't he challenge a critic to a boxing
Yeah,
match?
he did. I think some critic like slammed one of his movies or...
Judging by his movies, that seems like an appropriate response from him.
Yeah.
Resort to violence and totally miss the point.
Yeah, and I've read so much too. A lot of the reason people keep giving him money to make movies is some sort of like loophole in like German tax credit and funding for the arts or something. Because how do people keep giving him money to make movies?